Hi, this is Ryan from the New Prophets, and I'd like to tell you about a program called Sonic Wallpaper at Toad Hall. It is a donation-based guitar lessons open to everyone and anyone that has the desire to learn guitar. The classes are from 6 to 8 every Tuesday at Toad Hall in Franklin, and Danielle is one of our students.
Being a part of Sonic Wallpaper has helped me find where I fit in and has opened my eyes to the endless possibilities that are out there.
I'd also like to thank our sponsors, Manchester Music Mill, German Motorsports, Bob Rice, Boscop Incorporated, and Abbott Business Networks. Email us for more information or to sign up at thenewprophets@gmail.com.
IPMNation.com.
This is Tom,
Jeff,
John,
and Matt. You're listening to Local Outbreak on IPM Nation.
Local Outbreak on IPM Nation and 100.1 The Planet. This is Matt from IPM Nation. We're here at the studio at 50 Canal Street in downtown Laconia. Don't forget, of course, thestudionh.com is a website if you want to check it out online, but it's a very cool place. Please support your local businesses. In addition to local music, right in downtown Laconia, funky little gift shop and art gallery, and very, very cool place. I'm very grateful to Melissa for letting us do the show here each week. Also, of course, we are sponsored by Central NH Events. If you need a DJ for your event, go to centralnhevents.com. Tim Martin does a great job. And, of course, Tweak Sound and Mastering in Concord, New Hampshire. If you need some recording done, Mr. Matt Marcil. He just started a new job, and he's very busy, but he'll fit you in, and it's definitely worth it. And also Sonic Wallpaper, who we had those guys, Ryan LeMay and a couple of his cohorts in that endeavor were on a couple of weeks ago, and doing some really cool stuff in the local community for helping kids get music lessons and really cool stuff there. So we want to support them as well. And we have with us tonight, joining us here in the studio, and this is kind of a unique name, but Yeehaw Jihad. Am I saying that right?
Yep.
All right.
Yep. Plenty don't, but that sounded fine.
And we have Matt, who's you've been on the show before.
Yeah, years ago.
With Devil's Champion.
That's right.
Was it a couple times?
Yeah, I think twice.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And let's see. And John.
Yes.
And what do you do in the band?
I play the drums.
And Matt plays guitar, of course. I forgot to mention that. You play drums, okay. And Jeff?
Yeah, I play the guitar as well.
Okay. And Tom?
I'm the bass player.
Okay. Well, you know what? You guys are going to play for us live, so we'll get into... obviously, I'm going to ask you the obvious question, where does the name come from? But
everyone does.
But we'll talk about all kinds of stuff. But you guys are going to play for us live here, which is very cool.
Yeah, we're excited.
So not everyone does that, so this is awesome. And what do you guys... is it all original stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
What are you going to do to open tonight?
We do a song called Next Tuesday.
Okay. All right.
Abbreviated title.
All right. So this is Yeehaw Jihad playing acoustic for us tonight here at the studio on Local Outbreak next Tuesday, and then we'll come back and we'll talk.
All this
please, because now you're mine. Now that you know what you're gonna get, sights of cars filthy and wet, gonna make you bite, make you dig your claws, gonna make you hold on tight, rock you hard until the end of the night.
Local Outbreak on IPM Nation and 100.1 The Planet, and we are talking here tonight at the studio with the guys from Yeehaw, Jihad. All right, guys, so tell me about the name.
Well, Jeff can take that one.
All right, I will take that. The name has been around for a while, actually, before Tom and I got this band going.
Yeah.
The band's been going for about four and a half years now.
Oh, that's longer than I thought. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, Matt and John have just joined up this spring. We had some changes to the band.
Oh, okay.
And it's a welcome change. It's kind of filled out the sound.
What happened to what happened to the band previously? I'm always looking for the dirt.
We were a three-piece. We were a three-piece, and we were a three-piece for 4 years with the original trio. And the drummer has just been having some medical issues and felt like he couldn't keep gigging and that.
Well, that's
sort
too
of
bad.
thing. Yep.
Hauling gear.
Yeah.
His back was actually bothering him.
Oh, no kidding.
And so two things: the sciatic nerve down the back was stopping him from sitting comfortably.
Oh, wow.
And so
Tough for a drummer.
sitting at the drum kit for hours on end was.
Years of personal abuse, snowboarding and skateboarding. And
Oh, really? Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
Comes with its price.
Yeah, it does.
So the name was around before that. I'd kind of come up with it on my own, kind of as a joke when I was doing a solo thing. And when this band was coming together and we were struggling to come up with a name.
For about 3 months.
Really? Yeah. Yeah.
It's the hardest part.
Yeah.
Matt, actually, who was not in the band at the time, reminded me of that name I had come up with. And it was just kind of a funny thing.
It's your fault?
Take full credit for that.
And he had no idea he'd later be in the band that
Yeah.
Fine
helped.
with that.
Yeah.
And the name, I kind of came up with it as kind of a funny, punky, obnoxious kind of controversial thing for my solo act, and I never ended up using it. But having committed to it as the band name, we've had to come to terms with what it is and what it means for us. And all it is life. It's the balance of struggle and celebration. Like is a struggle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, literally Jihad is struggle, so
Okay.
it's not as
It's we're
inflammatory as it
we
might sound.
joke.
Right.
We may joke that it's a hoedown holy war or something like that. But no, it's
Is that the name of the album? Hoedown Holy War?
It's a possibility. It's a possibility. But no, its root meaning jihad is just struggle. So
Or plight.
or
was another.
plight.
Okay.
Very very basic struggle. So that's what it's about. It's life, and you got to take that with a grain of salt. Whatever you make of
Yeehaw
it.
is like a celebration,
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
an exclamation
Yeehaw!
of
Little-
So, instead of being held down by your struggle, kind
A
of
little
just celebrate it.
little
Yeah.
sarcasm to it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeehaw at the daily struggle. Yeah.
No, it's good. And what's cool, too, is I assume that, you guys probably Googled it and nobody else already had the name, which is good.
That was a
It
safe bet.
actually it actually does exist as a song name of another band.
Oh, well, that doesn't count.
No, right.
'Cause
So
half-
we're safe.
Because
We
half the
didn't know that
struggle
initially.
half the struggle of coming up with a cool name is something nobody else already has.
It's near
Right.
impossible.
Yeah, it's very, very difficult. So that's good.
Should we add that we don't necessarily
Oh,
you know,
we don't have any
political
spiritual
affiliation,
or
religious
political
agenda.
affiliations. No,
You're not jihadists. In
No,
other words.
correct.
It's probably is good to clarify that for everybody.
Yeah.
So how long has this lineup existed then? The four of you together?
Since March.
Okay, so this is pretty new.
Yeah.
Pretty new.
We played our last show with the original drummer in March. Started jamming with John and Matt right around the same time, and we played our first show with this lineup in May.
Okay. So was it a conscious decision to want to, because you said you were a three-piece before
We
for
were.
a long time, so to move to being a four-piece, was that like a conscious decision, or was it just sort of organic in that, this works?
It was a good opportunity. We needed to find a new drummer anyway. It was something we had talked about in the past. I personally had fought it for a long time, feeling like we didn't need a second guitarist. But over the past year or so, we've talked more about it, and shows we've played, certain shows we've played where a friend would maybe sit in with us from time to time.
Yeah.
We felt a lot more comfortable and relaxed with that setup. It certainly has opened up a lot of opportunities for what we can do writing music going forward.
Sure. And we should probably describe, too, for people what the live show is like, because obviously people listening tonight, they're getting to hear you guys play acoustic, which is really cool. But obviously on a typical, well, I know sometimes, too, you do live shows acoustic now, but in a typical show, and I looked at some of the videos online and whatnot, and it's heavy, it's dark,
It is.
it's loud,
Electric.
It is.
Yeah.
We're not exactly metal. Most metalheads will discard us as metal.
Metalheads, as a rule, over genre everything.
Yeah.
Like to somebody who's not into rock or metal, everything's rock or metal. But there's so many subgenres.
Oh,
But,
yeah, yeah.
We really take our roots from late '70s, early '80s. Metal, stoner rock, acid metal, that kind of, Black Sabbath, Caius, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
and
heavy rock.
And getting into
Yeah.
the more slop and more, things like corrosion and conformity. What's the word I'm looking for? Anyway, that's sludge. The sludge style. Something like that, where it's not too intricate. It's a lot of feel. You know what I mean? But it's heavy. It's loud. It's
Do you guys all write together, or?
We have been, yeah. In the past 4 years or so, we've written songs in pretty much every arrangement that you could possibly think of.
Yep.
Some are completely Tom, some are completely me. Some we've written the music together and just one of us writes the words, and the other way around. Sometimes one of us will come up with all the music, and then we'll write all the words together. Going forward now with the four of us, we have some new songs, and we've been pretty consistent about writing the music and the words together. But the option's still open, that any one of us could write a song that will be included in the repertoire.
Because it sounds like, from what I was listening to, it sounds like the kind of stuff where someone could walk into your rehearsal space with a riff, and I can just imagine everybody kind of just, it coming together very organically in some instances.
Yeah,
so,
It often does,
yeah. Which I think makes things easier. I mean, personally, like with bands I've been in, there's like I remember, I was in a band called First Shove, and it was very difficult to do that. It was usually, someone would come in with a riff, and then it was just hours of everybody trying to figure out what to do with it, and it was very, very difficult. So I've always been kind of envious of bands where you have that ability to just kind of, where something will come together organically, and everybody kind of puts their 2 cents in.
Yeah, coming from a background of like really intricate, multi-layered, 10, 12 pieces to a song, coming to this band and having it be more, raw and stripped down and a lot more feel, a lot less, the sterility that you get from like, I was in a death metal band for 10 years, and it was so, at the end of the day, it's memorization more than it is really feel. And now, we play, this heavy rock that's a lot more swingy, a lot more feel, a lot more easier to nod your head to and get into, and that just leads to more ease of collaboration, where somebody says, what if I do this with it, and it most of the time it's going to work, because it doesn't have to fit into this intricate puzzle. It's it's more open and broad, and I enjoy playing
we
it a lot.
don't lean
Yeah.
too heavily in one genre or the other. It might
Yeah.
be chugging riffs and then it jump over to some bluesy riffs that Jeff's
Yeah.
That's the
working on.
beauty
So
of
it's,
it. Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
kind of something for everybody, and there's so many different elements to it.
Yeah.
And then that way you're not locked into a style or a genre. You know what I mean?
Right.
Somebody comes in with more of a punk rock feeling riff, you go, you know what, we'll run with it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? If we have a set that sounds like we're 12 different bands, then good.
Right. Right.
You know?
Yeah.
It's more appeal, and it's fun. It's more fun for us, and not to be strapped down to one genre.
Yeah, not trying to put yourselves into a box and creating all these artificial rules. When you're creating, I think it's always more, at least in my experience, it's much more fun to just not try to overthink. Okay, we need to sound like this and we need to make it like this, but just
certainly the freedom to bring anything to the table makes it so much more fun, so
Yeah.
much more open. You don't feel like, well, this isn't heavy enough or this isn't fast enough. You just come in with it and say, what do you think of this? You
Right.
know, and we'll make it work.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
it's good, we'll make it work. It doesn't have to fit neatly into any category.
yeah, that's good. That's good.
I think we all have pretty broad and diverse influences stylistically. We all listen to many different kinds of music.
Yeah,
And so I think we try to...
Sorry, Jeff. Any day I could get a call from Jeff saying, "Oh, I've been listening to this country lick, and I'm thinking I'm going to work it into a
Yeah,
song."
yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know how, but we'll figure it out, Or he's like, "Listen, I'm doing all this chicken picking, and watch this YouTube video, and we're going to do this next week." And,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's good.
I think we try to celebrate the diverseness of our diversity
Is that a word? It's a word now.
tastes. Yeah,
All right.
Diversity of our tastes. It'll generally always end up being pretty heavy sounding and edgy,
Yeah.
but it incorporates a lot.
Yeah, just bringing it to big amps with electric guitars and a full drum kit. You know what I mean? You're not going to get. It's going to lean towards being more loud and heavy
Sure,
and in
sure.
your face. But yeah, I mean, anything's open. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So that's it. The freedom is really,
Yeah,
enjoyable.
that's good. That's good. Well, why don't we hear another song? You guys are playing live for us tonight. What do you guys want to play?
I think we're going to do Blackout now.
Sure. Yep.
All right, cool. So this is Blackout with Yeehaw Jihad playing acoustic tonight here at the studio on Local Outbreak. Let's take a listen, and we'll come back and talk a little more.
heck was I thinking? I told you to take me home. Why am I home? Couldn't spend the night alone. Yes, I threw a down a bone. Gotta dial back this drinking. What the heck was I thinking?
Local Outbreak on IPM Nation and 100.1 The Planet. This is Matt from IPM Nation. We are at the studio at 50 Canal Street in downtown Laconia. TheStudioNH.com is the website if you want to check it out online. And we're here tonight with the guys from Yeehaw, Jihad. All four of the band members, which doesn't always happen. Sometimes I interview bands and not everyone can make it, and then we make fun of whoever didn't make it. And I encourage everybody to make up a
Oh no, we're a team, and we make fun of Tom as a team.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Tom's a target.
Is that why Tom
am
doesn't
a
say much?
target.
Because he doesn't want to open himself up to ridicule?
No.
He doesn't say much when there's a microphone in front of him.
Yeah.
Right.
Take the microphone away, and he'll just take over.
Yeah.
You don't
yeah.
want to hear what I have to say.
Yeah. How many songs do you guys have as a band?
We're at
About a dozen at this
12?
point.
That's pretty good.
13, something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
They had 10 when I showed up, and we've written, I think, we've pretty much completed 2 or 3
We
more.
had 11.
11?
Yeah.
Oh, am I
And
forgetting?
we've had.
Oh, I'm forgetting friends.
Well, because there's a few that we haven't brought back
Oh,
since you
that's
guys
true.
have,
Yeah.
have been involved.
It's a lot,
and,
always a
I've
lot.
got 5 or 6 on the table.
We've got one that we just finished yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
That's our first as a collaboration as this, as this unit. And
Yeah.
I think it's, at top or close to the top of, of the catalog.
Yeah.
It definitely came together musically like it should. It felt good. It felt
Cool.
right when we finished it, and we were like, yeah, that sounds like what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
And the words came together like that as well.
Well, we were trying to have it ready for today, so we were under the gun. So
Yeah.
we wrote the lyrics in one day. We were just jamming them out.
It's awesome.
Yeah, we've got about 3 or 4 more songs that are close behind.
Yeah.
We just gotta
It's hard to
kind of wrap them up.
Yeah, you're always trying to write new music, get ready for shows,
Yeah.
rehearse.
We were talking
record.
We were talking about all our different influences and the different sounds that we kind of bounce back and forth between. I think our only real challenge that we try to stick to ourselves is that we consistently try to make the next song not sound like any of the previous songs.
Yeah. Tell me about, well, Matt, I got to ask you, so the obvious question, is Devil's Champion done, or
No,
did you
they're
just
still
leave?
they're
or?
still chugging along. They had a few setbacks, but as far as
Yeah.
I know, they're still practicing.
Yeah,
And,
that band's been around a long damn time.
Well, I was in it for 10 years.
Yeah.
It's been almost 2, maybe a little more than 2 years since I've been out of it. I was a founding member, so
Wow,
yeah,
okay.
that's a long time ago.
So why the change?
Just
I'm looking for the dirt, Matt. I'm looking
well,
for the...
listen, those guys are dear friends of mine.
No,
I
I know.
won't just say a disparaging word about them, but
No, I wouldn't
but
expect
tensions arose, and there was some conflict between a new member and some of the old members, not from myself, and
Yeah.
I ended up not appreciating everything that went down and
Yeah.
sort of taking myself out of the picture. But again, wish nothing but the best for those guys. They're amazing musicians. I was honored to get to play with
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
But at the end of the day, it was we had to go our separate ways.
Sure.
It's a tough decision. It was I toiled over it, but it was the best thing for me to break away.
Who's left? Because Brian's not there anymore, right?
No, Brian plays for a band called Miley Cyborg, and
He was in another band too that I had on this show, and I can't remember the band.
He
but
played
yeah.
with Edgewise, and he played with another.
Oh,
band.
Edgewise, yeah, I had Edgewise
The
on.
Atlas Collapse.
Oh, and I had them on
Brian,
too. Okay,
Brian,
yeah.
Brilliant bass player.
Yes.
I've known Brian, ready for this, since 7th grade.
No kidding.
Yeah. We had classes together in junior high. So
Wow.
old time friend of mine.
But Matt Hart and Mike Tobin are still there.
Still doing it. And Justin Everett, who was a previous drummer, had rejoined.
Okay.
So
okay.
and I believe they have another guitar player, but
So is Matt the only original member then?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just him.
yeah.
It's just him.
And Mike the longest besides him.
Yeah. Mike's been a couple years now, maybe 3 or 4 years now.
Okay, wow. Where does the time go? Jeez. So what?
I actually met Matt Burpee here because I used to be in a band with Matt Hart.
So what band was
12,
that?
Like 12 years ago. That was
really?
Lucid Strain, a band out of Keene.
Okay.
And also a short-lived band.
Really,
I joined them kind of at the end as the bass player.
Yeah.
But that's how I met Matt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, and what I wanted to ask you guys too about other bands that you've all been in. So you did Lucid Strain, and then have you been in other bands in between that and this, or
just before Yeehaw Jihad, I was in a band called Flawed.
Okay.
That lasted about 3 years.
Okay.
It was interesting, fun, kind of progressive doom with kind of yes, progressive doom with a familiar classic rock vibe to it.
Yeah.
All original stuff.
Okay.
Electric violin.
Yeah. What about you, Tom?
I was in a band called Stereo Child.
Okay.
Which, interestingly enough, was a reggae-based band.
Really?
And but we used to cover Black Sabbath songs as well.
Yeah.
So it had a pretty interesting following.
Huh.
But
how long did you do that?
We worked together for about 10 years.
Wow.
And it was actually known as Back to the Basement originally.
Yeah.
Meaning that's where we would always go back to, I guess. And let's see, the original drummer for this band was also in that band. And so he and I had played together for about 15 years.
Yeah.
And we had jammed around before that band started with another friend of ours for 5 years that played pretty much strictly reggae.
Wow, no kidding.
Anyway, so it's great to so that ended last year, and I feel like kind of a new bass player because I'm playing with John here as a new drummer.
Yeah.
having been with the same drummer for 15 years.
No kidding. Wow.
That was another funny thing about this band is that Tom and I have lived in the same town for all our lives, really.
Yeah.
And only just met each other 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And which is
a mile apart.
Especially peculiar because it's only a town of like 600 people.
What town?
Nelson, New Hampshire.
No kidding.
We don't even have a post office or store.
I've never even heard of it. I have no clue where Nelson, New Hampshire is.
Not many have.
Yeah. Wow.
A famous legacy of contra dancing.
Yeah. Oh.
Which we don't typically join in with.
Right. I understand. What about you, John?
I mean, I moved to Keene in 2004 around then, and kind of that was early on when I started playing, and so I'd kind of played around in different cover bands, and we do different things, and I jam with different people here and there. I moved out to Colorado a couple of years ago for school, so I was going to spend about a year out there.
Yeah.
Joined up with a band called Tattooed Grin that was pretty established around there. We'd open up for different bands that kind of came through and toured. We'd play a lot around Colorado Springs and Denver, and so then that kind of it was really the first exposure to playing like real shows at real venues.
Sure.
And so I kind of got the hook for it, and I mean we played some great shows out there, had a lot of fun, and so I came back, finished up school in Keene, and then sort of got the bug again to get back in a band. So I met up with these guys through a mutual friend and kind of took off from there.
Yeah.
And it's a way different style from what I'm used to playing. Tattooed Grin, they're kind of alternative with progressive elements and real like more straightforward rock, but now there's punk elements and like classic rock elements, so it's kind of bringing it all together and applying my own style to the stuff the previous drummer Josh was working on.
Cool. So you went to Keene State College?
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to ask you why Keene, either because of school or you're a free state or one or the other.
I'd been from there, so
not there's anything wrong with that. But, cool. Yeah, and it's you guys were talking about influences too, and how there's a mix of influences, and it kind of shows in your musical histories. I think that's something that's kind of unique to musicians anyway. I think if you're I think it's rare to meet a musician who doesn't have a lot of different influences, and it's usually people who don't play music who just will say, "Oh, I only listen to metal," or "I only listen to country," or whatever it is that they only listen to. But
definitely what I like about this this band is that other bands I've been in were like I said before, just kind of like pigeonholed into whatever style they did, and it's like without that thinking out of the box, you know what I mean? It gets, you can always challenge yourself going faster, slower, more intricate, whatever. But the idea of the freedom to bring anything to the table and just widen your scope, that makes every song new, and you never feel like you're trapped.
Right. Very cool. And what, as far as recording, so are you guys, I mean, you're playing live here tonight, but are you in the midst of recording an album, or what's?
We're working on finishing up some new songs right now. We did just scramble to try and put together a new demo of the song we just finished. But I think
unsuccessfully.
Well, it sounds okay, but I don't know if we're ready to share it.
It was our first attempt at solo recording as well.
Oh, okay. So
ourselves.
Okay, gotcha.
Which will work.
It's a work in progress.
It will come around.
Like playing the songs, it's just practice.
Sure.
But no, we're working on finishing up some new songs right now. I think maybe coming up in the next couple months, we may try to record a short acoustic recording.
Cool.
We've done a few acoustic performances recently. We did a few over the last few years, really maybe only 2.
Yeah.
And now that we're doing it again, a few acoustic shows here and there, people are really responding to it, and a few are even telling us they like it better than the normal,
no kidding,
the normal sound.
Yeah.
That doesn't make Tom happy.
Really?
That doesn't make Tom happy.
It's the
I'm
crowd
not too
we're
happy
playing
about it
to,
either.
Yeah. It's hard. There aren't a lot of venues in the Keene area that will host us, but we've started playing in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
We played in Boston 2-3 weeks ago. So I think maybe early next year we'll start working on a new full-length recording with new material.
Yeah.
Of course, the thing to do these days now with music online and everybody being so attention deficit, the thing really to do is put out 1 or 2 songs every couple of months. And
Yeah. Well, in terms of the guests that I have on the show, a lot of people do that. Some people do an EP. Some people do a full length. It's always interesting to, ask why did you decide to do that? But I've actually been surprised. A lot of guests, a lot of bands that come in will still do a full length, even though it's.
I really appreciate that. I appreciate these bands that are now recording their new albums on vinyl. Kind of the throwback to an older time. Our sound generally, as Matt said, is kind of a throwback to the 70s, the heavy 70s rock and early heavy metal. We play with tube amps. We're not really into a lot of current heavy music or a lot of, certainly not a lot of pop music or mainstream anything.
Yeah, we're pretty anti-pop.
Well, even a lot of the heavy stuff that you hear now, the way it's recorded, it's so, like, the guitars are so compressed. And
It's clinical. You know? Even going so far as to record the drummer's feet, at one time and the hands at the other, and it's like you look at somebody like Dave Grohl now doing it. I mean, not that he doesn't have an amazing garage, but it is his garage.
Yeah.
And you got bands recording. They're going back to recording on 2-inch tape. And it's like it sounds more raw. It sounds better.
Much warmer.
I've seen, years ago, Slayer basically bought a home studio board that you could go and buy at Guitar Center, and they sat down with it and they recorded their album on it. It's like, it doesn't have to be Pro Tools. It doesn't have to be, cut and paste, punch in, this thing where it has to be perfectly metered and perfect.
It's not supposed
all the
to be
time.
perfect.
It's not supposed to be,
It needs to be natural and organic. There's actually a studio I've been eyeing. It's a bit of a drive for us. It's out in Pennsylvania, but we found them on Facebook, and they say they are state of the art for 1980. 24 channel, all analog, reel to reel tape.
Yeah, I bet it sounds great.
I bet.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, you guys are playing live for us tonight. Why don't we hear something? What are you guys gonna?
This
play
is
next?
Bottle. This is one of my favorite songs. It's the one slow one we do.
Bottle?
It's Big
Yeah.
Feel. It's Tom's baby, and I love this one.
All right, let's take a listen, and then we'll come back and we'll talk a little more. We've got Yeehaw Jihad here at the studio with us tonight, and they're going to play Bottle. Nice.
Pieces of the bottle shadow my ears. They see pictures through the frame. What is the sound that a crashed car makes? Well, it must be the same. Drinking whiskey and I'm up all night. What do you know? We had another flight. Thoughts of death in a little boy's head. Peace and war lay in the road. I dreamed a dream that I never should have dreamed. After all's in front of me. Pieces of that bottle are still shattering my ears. They see them pictures through the frame. What is the sound that a crashed car makes? Well, it must be the same. I'm drinking whiskey and I'm up all night. Son of a bitch, looks like we had another fight. Thoughts of death in a little more head. Peace and war lay in the road. I dreamed a dream that I never should have dreamed. After all's in front of me. Thoughts of death in a little boy's head. Peace and war lay never should have dreamed. Now, after all's in front of me.
Local Outbreak on IPM Nation and 100.1 The Planet. This is Matt from IPM Nation. We're with the guys from Yeehaw, Jihad tonight, and they've been playing live for us here in the studio. And guys, so before we, because you guys are going to play one more song before we wrap up, but before we do that, where should people go? Where's the best place to go to find you guys online and keep up with everything that you're doing?
At this point, Facebook and Reverb Nation. We are on Twitter and Instagram and SoundCloud. But probably the best right now is Facebook.
We're most active on Facebook.
Okay.
We post, at least, a couple things every day.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
try to, when we're in the studio, we're posting, goofy pictures and just keeping people, up to date on what we're up to.
Which is good, by the way, because not everyone thinks to do that,
Yeah.
which is weird to me. Like a lot of musicians that come on the show, they don't think to do that kind of stuff, like post when they're in the studio, and which is strange because in this social media era that we live in,
Right.
People will post a million selfies of themselves just making funny faces,
Right.
But then they don't. It doesn't occur to them when they're doing something creative
We
to post that.
we try to take this pretty seriously, business wise. I mean, we're still small time, of course, but we do a lot of homework. We do research and read a lot about what's going on in the industry and what works for
Yeah.
people. A lot of blogs, a lot of articles, and a few books. And it's funny because once we've started applying that, we've found that more than posting new music or event dates or certain things like that, people respond the most to when we make some stupid video of us just hanging out being goofy.
Yeah.
And it works. It turns people on to us,
Yeah.
and they check out the music also.
Yeah, there's definitely
Yeah.
a balance of professionalism, like as far as keeping your face out there,
Yeah.
and then just being a bunch of goofy dudes who are in this mostly for the love and the fun.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
John's always taking pictures of Tom when he's not looking, and
It's a game at this
we
point.
laugh a lot after.
But Facebook, it's just been a great medium
see
to
the
kind
camera
of
in
share
there.
things we're doing and just
Yeah.
I mean, it all comes down to the music with us, but our connection with our fans and people who appreciate what we're doing really seem to enjoy it.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, what are you guys gonna play to wrap up?
We're gonna finish with Stockholm
We're going to play
Syndrome.
Stockholm Syndrome. We just want to say we're playing in Vermont
Okay.
in another week, next weekend, I
week and a
believe,
half, yeah.
the 25th.
Okay.
A little over a week, up at the Brooklyn Pub in Mount Holly, Vermont. It's an all-day, 13-band, heavy music fest.
Where is?
We find towns
Yeah.
you've never heard of.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we'll find them. We'll
It's-
play it.
Is that near?
It's out there,
Probably near Canada.
kind of before Rutland, I believe.
Before Rutland?
When you're
Okay.
getting pretty big when you're playing that.
You book us at the Brooklyn Pub in northern Vermont. We're gonna show up.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
Why not? To me,
So check our Facebook.
I don't really play anymore, but to me, part of the fun of being in a band was finding new places to play. And I used to love going to places that I'd never been, that maybe a lot of people weren't familiar with. But it was to me, I always thought that was fun. So
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
so that's really cool.
Is this one outdoors?
I believe so. I believe it's an outdoor all-day festival, yeah.
It's the right time of year for it.
Yeah.
All right, so this is Stockholm Syndrome? that you're
Stockholm
playing?
Syndrome,
Yep.
yeah.
All right, I did listen to this online, I think, on Reverb Nation, and I like this one a lot.
We also have Bandcamp.
Oh, cool. Okay, good. Yeah. All right. Guys, thank you so much.
No, thanks, Matt.
thank
we appreciate
Thank you,
it.
Matt.
much.
And the guys are going to play Stockholm Syndrome. This is Yeehaw Jihad here on Local Outbreak on IPM Nation.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Farewell, my brother, slave to another. You dreamed a brighter dream. The reach fell short, it seems. Hide behind your lies. Beautiful disguise, the one who holds you near. A mess of hateful fear. Chains you like a pet, with jealous lies and empty threats. Hide behind your lies. Beautiful disguise. Resigned to something not meant to be. Freedom is under lock and key. Now you have been played the whore for someone who keeps the score of every favor paid to you. You'd find your way if you wanted to. Hide behind your lies, but I see your eyes. Hide behind your eyes, beautiful disguise. Lies, lies,
IPMNation.com.
Hi, this is Ryan from the New Prophets, and I'd like to tell you about a program called Sonic Wallpaper at Toad Hall. It is a donation-based guitar lessons open to everyone and anyone that has a desire to learn guitar. The classes are from 6 to 8 every Tuesday at Toad Hall in Franklin, and Danielle is one of our students.
Being a part of Sonic Wallpaper has helped me find where I fit in and has opened my eyes to the endless possibilities that are out there.
I'd also like to thank our sponsors, Manchester Music Mill, German Motorsports, Bob Rice, Boscop Incorporated, and Abbott Business Networks. Email us for more information or to sign up at thenewprophets@gmail.com.